Mark, that story we just heard of this gentleman by the name, I think it was Marquis, a Canadian registered to vote. Oh, but he's not an illegal immigrant, so it's okay, I guess, to the current secretary. You surprised by this story?
We've been seeing so many problems with our voter registration in the state of California. And the thing is, when a non-citizen who's a green card holder votes, it actually is a federal felony and subject to deportation. And we just saw about a month ago where a priest who had been here for 14 years voted once because the DMV registered him to vote, and he he voted in one federal election, and all the 13 years of good works that he did were not good enough. That one vote ended up in his citizenship being denied and being deported. That's why it's so important that the Secretary of State, the chief election officer, the one who federal law says must maintain the voter rolls, why it's so important for them to actually review the voter rolls to maintain them and remove those people who are not eligible to vote.
And let's face it, the current Secretary of State, the gentleman that you are running against, trying to replace, is not cleaning up the voter rolls in California, refuses to do so, maybe comes out with some window dressing, some fancy press releases once in a while, but it's chaos behind the scenes, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, the thing you got to understand is that the current Secretary of State was the one who gave us this DMV motor voter. He was the one who signed an order with a court saying that we were going to do this in the middle of an election year. And first we saw that 78,000 people had their party changed without their consent. Then the 23,000 bad registrations. Then it was 3,000 people who didn't want to be registered put on. And then there's 1,500 people who are not eligible put on the voting rolls. That comes up to over 100,000 people that have been put on the voter rolls in California. And it's all due because the Secretary of State didn't put the proper procedures in place. He keeps trying to pass the buck instead of realizing that as a chief election officer, he's the one who's responsible for maintaining the voter rolls. He can't say, okay, DMV made mistakes. No, his office was responsible to check that DMV was properly registering these people. And he did not do that because he won the political gain of being able to say he added millions of people to the voter rolls.
Well, and let's face it, those numbers that you're talking about there in the thousands is enough to swing any local election and possibly a statewide election. But here's a question. How many illegal aliens in California, illegal immigrants, are registered to vote? And I know this is somewhat of a question that cannot be answered. I understand that. It's almost a rhetorical question, how many, because we don't know the answer. You don't know the answer. Is it something you could wrap your head around if you are elected Secretary of State of California? Do you think you could figure that out and audit the system?
When I'm elected Secretary of State, what I will be able to do is I'll be able to maintain the voter rolls by comparing them with other databases. You know, the thing is, there's a lot of databases that we have that tells us, you know, whether people are here legally or illegally. California, we have AB60 driver's license. The AB60 driver's license is for those people who cannot prove their citizenship. Yet we're not taking that AB60 driver's license, those names and addresses, and comparing them to the voter rolls.
When you could easily, right? I mean, there's a database there.
It's a database check. You know, we're not talking to Homeland Security and say, hey, give us a list of all the people that you know are here on green card paperwork and just compare them with the voter rolls.
Right.
You know, what we do know is that in the state of California in 2017, 450,000 people received a jury service summons, and they replied, I'm not a citizen of the United States of America. And the primary place that they get that data for jury service summons is the voter registration rolls. Yes, they do get it from other sources, but the primary place is the voter registration rolls. That's 450,000 investigations that need to be done to see, are these people voting? Are they registered to vote? If they're registered to vote, we need to remove them. If they're voting, we need to start prosecution.
And so the formula is set in California. It may not be set in cement. It may be a liquid, and you can change this formula. But right now, the formula is motor voter, which is completely corrupt, and no voter ID. And in the end, you have no way of ensuring the sanctity of the franchise. And you have a commercial out right now that's running in the great state of California, trying to get folks to vote for you. I want to run a little piece of it. Roll tape.
MIT discovered that California has the third worst elections in America. Third worst.
Thank you, Alex Padilla.
Padilla incompetence resulted in 118,000 voter registrations being canceled on Election Day.
If California is third, I'm almost afraid to ask who's 1 and 2. I mean, maybe you can fill me in. But the bottom line is, so you have people in the primary who were left off the voter rolls. That's a problem. But really, the bigger problem is who is on the voter rolls who should not be.
Yeah, well, the thing about the purge is LA County had 118,000 people removed from the voter rolls, and of course they conveniently blamed that upon a printer error in Los Angeles.
Right.
And we subsequently learned that there's 8 other counties that had the exact same problem. It wasn't a printer error in Los Angeles. It was incompetence at the Secretary of State's office.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.